Ooh yeah, what you gonna do, brother? Good grief, you are a chuffing gaming nerd. There's no two ways about it, Destiny 2 is a big deal. Doesn't matter how much people like me take the mick out of it, and I do take the mick out of it a lot, but that's only because the original Destiny was really boring and had no story, and you just walked around doing nothing, and the whole thing was like, here's a moon, look at the moon, or some bollocks. But just go look at social media or any video game website over the last few weeks and months. It's been Destiny 2 this and Destiny 2 that, because the fan base is rabid and they cannot wait for the sequel. And the series is already a huge success too. The first game, even with a bunch of controversy, including having to re-record a voice for a major character, didn't affect the bottom line, which means everyone behind the scenes would have been very happy. That may have not had any influence on the audience, but it is important. Without that, game is doomed. So all in all then, Destiny 2 has got to be considered one of the biggest games of 2017. And yet here I am, a gamer, and I still don't care. Now in many ways, that's a redundant statement. It's entertainment at the end of the day, and there's no set rule here. One person's joy is another's nightmare, but it's different with Destiny, as I feel like there's enough there to at least entice me to have a look. But I have no interest at all. It's by Bungie, for one, who created Halo, a game I loved at a certain stage of my existence, and it has all the bells and whistles a major blockbuster title should have, and that stuff is the best. Great visuals, that proper big game sheen, over-the-top trailers, that's what I crave for when it comes to games, and usually I'm like a lamb being led to slaughter when people do this. I'm an idiot. But it's just not there, and naturally my disinterest isn't going to affect anything with Destiny 2. It's still going to be released and be this huge behemoth, but it has me asking why. What is it about this that means I just take a step back and go, man, I can take it or leave it. I find it fascinating that this type of experience no longer appeals to me, especially because deep down, I haven't got the answer. Age is most probably a factor. If you're a young pup, you may not get it yet. It's certainly not a blanket rule, but I just find as my years tick on that what I'm looking for from gaming has changed massively, or in many ways, reset completely. For example, the game I've played most in 2017 is Mario Kart Deluxe, and I do have moments where I think that could be perfect. It's always pick up and play, it's always fun, it always makes you feel good when you win. There's a small barrier to entry in the sense if you want to be competitive online, you've got to try and get better at it. But other than that, you can give it to anyone and they'll know within seconds if it's for them. That's just everything to me currently. And that's not to say I don't want more serious gaming experiences, or I don't want developers to come up with some serious depth and put that in a game. But if you are going to do that, basically now you've got to tick every single one of the Miller boxes for me even to go, oh, I'll have a look at that. And why the hell do you want to cater for a moron like me? You don't. You want to cater for other morons. At the moment, no. Destiny 2 doesn't do that, as I've made abundantly clear already. Mostly because I'm not overly thrilled about walking around in space with a bunch of random people. Doesn't sound fun. I also don't care about customization or random loot drops. And let's face it, that seems to be almost 100% what Destiny is. And Overwatch. They trick you with the promise of some game and it's just menus and items. Sweet. It was the same when The Division was released a few years ago. I sat down to play that because I thought you shouldn't judge this just by looking at it from afar. That's not fair, so I did. I sat down and I even got some friends involved. And it was just really, really dull. I mean, it was so dull. It was so dull. It was so dull. It felt like Dark Souls in the sense I kept coming across the same sections I couldn't seem to overcome. And while that may be more reflective of my skills as a gamer, it didn't stop me from wanting to turn the damn thing off. It just didn't hook me at all. And again, that all comes down to personal taste, but there was a time where I was the poster boy for AAA games, even the crap ones. You could release a crap AAA game, but if it had like explosions and it looked really cool, I was going to play it, and 9 times out of 10, I was going to love it. But today, the template that everybody seems to go for just misses me entirely, and it kind of ties into things I've said on this series before. Ultimately, these open world multiplayer centric games just feel bloated and lack the instant bite I kind of enjoy. We all used to rag on corridor shooters with nonsense narratives, but I enjoyed that a lot more than these create your own story concepts. That's not to say they don't work, because they do. Bethesda pulled that off near perfectly on every occasion, and the latest Zelda rewrote the franchise by doing exactly that. No one has the same experiences there because it just lets go of your hand and tells you to run wild. But for me, I want someone to be hired to write me a story, and I know there's a lot of me there, but I am me, so when it comes to entertainment, I'm going to seek out entertaining things that appeal to me. because again, I'm me. It has become overlooked though. I don't even care if it's utterly stupid like Modern Warfare 3's plot. That's not the best example, but I recall playing that and thinking it was when COD started to jump the shark, but the narrative was so dumb I realised it was enough to get me through. Then a few years later and Kevin Spacey was yelling at me and being all serious, and I turned it off. Shut up, Kevin Spacey. Variety is clearly what matters here. I'm not saying we should only have one approach and that's that. It's just interesting to me that a game with as much hype and momentum as Destiny 2 may as well be Splatoon given how little I care. And don't forget, that's a game about squids. Squids! There's also the debate, if you take a step back and look at the situation from afar, Activision has actually made some great decisions. Not only do they have this MMO-like monster, but then there's COD, which kind of goes the other way, and then flipping Crash Bandicoot. You can't really have 3 more diverse games. And as an aside, that's basically the publisher's entire year, and everyone should look at them about how less can become more. They are the less is more publisher, and yet they're making millions of dollars, and then they even released Crash, which should have died on its arse, and that kicked all the ass too. And they knew when to kill the toys to life genre as well, which at the time people were like, they're crazy, they're gonna lose so much money. Activision are smart cats. If I'm truly honest with myself, in reality nothing has actually changed. When I was a kid I loved Nintendo, as an old man I love Nintendo. The Switch gets more playtime than anything else I have, and what comes in at number 2? My 3DS. So maybe I've always been this way and never realised, but I've no interest in Destiny 2, despite it about to become one of the biggest games of the year. And what will I be doing when that comes out? Trying to perfect my time on Rainbow Road. What a nerd. The Empowering is a patron-supported series, so please click the link in the description or the weird little box on the video to do just that. Like, share and subscribe, and please do subscribe. Subscribers are amazing, and you can come talk to me and call me a dick on Twitter, SimMiller316.